DTF printers can make or cost you a lot of money. Which one that's going to be is going to depend on you, where you are in your business, the potential volume that you're working with, and the goals that you've set out to achieve. In this video, let me show you guys the math that really decides which one that's going to end up being. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Alex. I am the owner of AMS Transfers.com. We're a custom DTF and screen print transfer supplier located in Houston, Texas. We've been printing transfers and t-shirts for our customers for the better part of the last 5 years. And we also have helped business owners outsource their DTF and custom apparel transfers for over 2 years. Now, kind of on that topic of outsourcing, let me first start with just explaining my methodology with how I actually came up with all of these results in the calculator. Because it wasn't just my interpretation, myself just going willy-nilly here. I actually took the time to research, gather other people's opinions, other business owners, actual industry leaders, and DTF experts to kind of make a hodgepodge of, really, from what I've seen out there, the best source for figuring out if you are at the point where buying a DTF printer makes sense for you. So I think obviously this is something that for those of you guys who do watch my videos here on the channel, you've heard me myself preach, but that's going to be the maintenance that is involved with these DTF printers. So I don't think it's any secret for those of you guys who are interested in buying one that the maintenance and nozzle clogs is one of the big things that people complain about with these DTF printers. Maintenance is definitely going to be one of the worst parts of actually working with DTF printers and doing DTF. The print heads, especially some of them like the XP600, they're just not built for the inks that we're running with DTF. So the clog risk and the buildup over time is really the biggest issue that you're going to have to worry about. With print heads like the i3200 and some of the newer ones that have been coming out, there is specialty. They do really just take that into consideration, and they've made a couple adjustments. I know that Epson has been working on developing a print head specifically for the type of ink that is used in DTF printers and DTF transfers. But with that, that just like brings me into the next section, which is just going to be the reality check. So what we really recommend is to run your DTF printer at least 5 days a week. So you can come in Monday through Friday, and if you're running that DTF printer for at least 2 to 3 hours per day, you'll be in good shape. But I would really argue that anything less than running that DTF printer for at least an hour, you want to at least hit 2, but I would say that an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, these are going to be the minimums that you're going to want to be running these DTF printers, because you want to be moving the ink through the lines. You don't want them to be sitting in the cartridges, sitting in the ink tanks. You want these things to be flowing so that none of the sediment is building up, none of it is separating. Nasty nozzle clogs that can end up costing you a print head. And that's the thing about these print heads, they're not cheap. Starting at minimum like $1,000 to replace an i3200, that's something that you're just not going to want to do. So taking the care to make sure that you're running these printers properly, maintaining them, is going to be essential to having these printers work for the long haul and consistently. So that's just like the thing. So let's really get into what this looks like to run a DTF printer for like 2 to 3 hours. So for this video, I did a whole bunch of different research and kind of went into the weeds. So I built an entire ROI calculator that you can input all of your own data, and it will actually calculate and then spit out whether the data that you put in is worth it to buy a DTF printer based off of everything that you said. So your volume, your costs, everything that you have inputted, and then it will let you know if it is worth it for you to buy a DTF printer based off of those numbers. So I have been literally into the weeds with all of this. So for this video, we're going to be assuming that you are using a 24-inch 2-head Audley DTF printer. That's the ones that we use here in our shop. There are 4-head DTF printers, but those are, again, more maintenance. So it's just one of those things. We're going to do this for the assumption. With that, you can print comfortably 22 feet per hour. So for scenario A, let's say that you're working with 4x4 prints that you're going to be putting on like the front of the t-shirt. So for that, you can do 44 transfers per hour. And then scenario B, say that you're doing a fully complete shirt. So you're doing something on the front where it's like a wide print maybe like 12 inches wide by 4 inches in height. And then for the back, you're gonna do something like an oversized 14 by 16 print. If you were to gang that up before you actually put it onto the DTF printer so that each of them are kind of like stacked on top of each other, that would equal enough for you to make 18 shirts per hour with that ganged up layout. So with those two scenarios in mind, let's go back to what I was saying, the 2 to 3 hours per day, 5 days a week of printing. That would mean that if you were doing the 11 by 11 scenario A that I was referring to, 44 transfers per hour times 3 hours times 5 is 660 11 by 11s per week. So for scenario B, that's 18 shirts per hour times 3 hours times 5 days is 270 shirts per week. So again, just I think all of these things in mind, you want to be asking yourself, are you doing 660 11 by 11s per week? Are you not? That's when you have to be real with yourself and say, man, I don't think I'm really at the point where I can sustain the volume that is necessary to actually maintain quality results with these DTF printers over time. And again, just one note to those of you guys who might be saying, oh yeah, I can easily do that on like a November or December when it's my busy season. We are doing that. We are doing 660 11 by 11s in a day. And sure, that may be true, that in your busy season, in that November, December, October, whenever it actually is for you. But then you need to be asking yourself, what about in your slow season, in like a February or March or June, whenever your slow season actually is? Are you even hitting that number, or are you close to it? Because the nozzles and your print heads don't care what time of the year it is or when your busy season is. They still want to have ink flowing through them, and they still want to be ran. So that's just actually for like running the DTF printers and the volume that you're going to need to sustain just running the DTF printers for the sustained amount that you should be to actually maintain them consistently over time. But there is so many other hidden costs that can come with owning a DTF printer that I wanted to also break that down here. So again, we're going deeper into the weeds as we go here, so I'm going to try and help out as much as I can, but make sure you guys are using that calculator and inputting all of your own information. It's going to only be as helpful as you guys put it. So try it out, input your information in the calculator down below. You can hit the link in the description, or there should be something up on screen. But here we go. So for the one-time investment, we're going to assume that you're going to pay $8,000 for the actual DTF printer. We have guides linked down below again on how you can actually buy DTF printers directly from the manufacturer on Alibaba. So $8,000 for the DTF printer, $4,000 for the DTF shaker and curing system, $1,000 for a ventilation system, because these DTF printers produce some noxious fumes that you do not want to be breathing in. So you're going to want to invest in some quality ventilation to get rid of that. The electrical setup, these DTF printers run on 220, so you're going to need to make sure that you have the proper outlets to power these DTF printers. The software and training, so a good raster image processing, otherwise known as a RIP, is going to be essential. We use Digital Factory. It's literally a godsend compared to Maintop. Again, I have videos linked down below on actually Maintop versus Digital Factory if you guys are interested in the comparison on that. But Digital Factory, $1,000, very expensive for sure. It pays for itself in workflow efficiencies in a matter of weeks. Climate control, these DTF printers, they want to be kept at like 60 to 70% humidity and around 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So again, making sure that you have the proper climate control for your equipment is going to help you sustain these printers consistently over that long term. And then the learning curve. So being honest, there's going to be a lot of waste when you're actually getting started learning how to operate these DTF printers effectively. So you have to make sure that you're accounting for that. Again, these are the hidden costs, right, that I was referring to. These are the things that when you're thinking about it, you might overlook, but they are going to be real nonetheless. So that's going to be the one-time investment. For the monthly fixed cost, you're going to need some space to put this in. So you can either choose to put this in a garage, but as for fitting this in a standard doorway, you're going to need to make sure that you either can get it in there before you start assembling the DTF printer, or your doorway is a little bit larger than a standard 32-inch doorway, because these dryers and the DTF printers are barely able to squeeze in a 32-inch doorway when you do not assemble them. So making sure that you have some sort of space taken into account is important. For this calculation, we're going to be assuming you're going to be renting some sort of space for $1,000 per month. You're going to need insurance for that space, $50 per month, and then the electricity costs to actually power one DTF printer This is going to vary considerably based on your costs, so make sure that you are inputting your own numbers in the calculator link down below. We're going to be assuming $100, and then for the actual per transfer costs, the film is going to be about 12 cents for a 11 by 11. For white ink, 15 cents. This is going to be variable depending on the design and the ink used in the design. The powder, again, going to be variable based on the design. We're going to assume 10 cents, plus the labor costs associated with operating the DTF printer, cutting them out, getting everything ready to go for that actual transfer. So yeah, I think now that we have all of these things kind of mapped out, we can start developing a decision framework. So I think step one is going to be just confirming that you have the actual sustained volume, not in the peak season, just actually sustained throughout the year. And then step two is going to be making sure that you have that space secured, so you have a climate controlled space secured. Again, I want to make sure that I'm emphasizing you need to make sure that you're keeping these in a humidity and climate controlled space. Step three, making sure that you have some sort of buffer, whether that be for replacement print heads that you never know when you're going to need, downtime, or really whatever. Again, it's a buffer at the end of the day. It's for rainy days. And then step four, I think the opportunity cost that you have to be considering. This is going to be the biggest thing that you want to make sure that you're taking into account, and probably the number one thing that I see people overlooking. Could your hours be better used marketing these t-shirts, selling them, trying to get the word out to your customers about your brand, building your company, building your brand? At the end of the day, there's a good chance that you're never going to be the best DTF printer in the world. There's going to be someone better than this at you, because this is what they do all day. They live, breathe, and eat it. And if that's not something that you're looking to do, it might be worth to just focus on what you like doing, focus on what you love, and then leave the printing to the professionals. So with that framework kind of established, I think that we can really just kind of lay out that unless you're hitting 500 transfers per month, there really is not going to be a break-even threshold no matter what we put in here for these numbers. So my advice would really be, if you are under that, to start with local outsourcing. You can use local suppliers for those gang sheet pickups, and then you get zero shipping costs and potentially even same-day turnaround time. And then that way you can just go and pick up the DTF transfers, and then if you are just kind of operating as a middleman, shipping them to your customers, you keep your brand invisible to your customers, and that way it would be like operating your own DTF printer, but then you don't have any of the headaches. If you can't by chance find a good same-day DTF transfer local supplier for you, you can always use AMSTransfers.com. We offer same-day custom DTF transfers if you place your order before 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, with no extra fees, no extra nothing. Just pay for your order normally, and we will print and ship it the same day. Give it to UPS on the truck. And then yeah, if you are sick of kind of not wanting to be a middleman and you want something where your customers can go onto your website, place an order for customs, and then you actually fulfill that, I completely get that. And if you are interested in something like that, but you actually don't want to do the work, what we offer is a platform that allows you the tools to give your customers access to gang sheet builders. They can go on there, upload their own artwork, size them, arrange as needed. And then when they actually go to place the order, that comes to our back-end production, and we can print and ship it under your brand name. So your customer doesn't even know that we're involved in the process at all. It just looks like it came from you at the end of the day. It says your name on the return label. The customer ordered from your website. So that can also be an effective way if you are looking to kind of offer something more in these custom realms while not having to purchase a DTF printer in the first place. So yeah, guys, make sure you guys go check the calculator out down below. Plug in your own numbers, see what it spits out if you are actually at the point where buying a DTF printer is worth it. And if you are, congratulations. I really am excited for you. I have 2 in-depth detailed guides on which DTF printer I would recommend here in 2025. I'll also link those down below in the description. Feel free to check those out. If you guys did enjoy this video, get subscribed. There's videos like this coming every single day on the channel. Videos like this coming every single Sunday. Leave a like down below if you guys enjoyed it, if you got some value. Comment anything you guys want to see more of down below, and I'll see you in the next video.
In a world full of visions, dreams on the run, we needed a spark, now look what we've done. Just type it, describe it, watch it unfold.